Hello and welcome back, and today I want to show you guys how to set up a Windows 10 virtual machine on your Synology NAS. Now, a few things straight off the bat. I am going to tell you a few things today about one, installing a fresh copy of Windows or installing a copy of your existing desktop PC and converting a physical computer into a virtual machine. On top of that, I'm recording this video at the other end of the office, so it's a little bit echoey here compared with over there in the recording area, and it's only because this is kind of the setup I have with some of the test units. So I do apologise in advance if it seems a little bit echoey there in the background, but let's go ahead and proceed. So the NAS we're using today is a Synology 1019 Plus. The reason I've selected this NAS is because although it's not the cheapest NAS out there, it's definitely probably a great entry point for those that want to have a NAS and take advantage of all of the Synology software, but at the same time still want a virtual machine without breaking the bank. This NAS arrives with an Intel Celeron based processor. It is a 4-core Intel Celeron processor, and it's worth highlighting a few things. You're going to need a NAS that arrives with an 64-bit x86 based processor. So I'm talking your Intel Celerons, I'm talking Pentiums, talking Intel Core and Xeons. On top of that, you're going to need at least 4 cores of CPU of proficiency, because you're going to dedicate some of the hardware resources of this NAS directly to the virtual machine. And when you do that, they're not going to be able to be used by the NAS. So you have to make sure that you provision enough hardware for both the NAS to keep running and the virtual machine to support the virtual machine image. Next, memory. Make sure you've got at least 4 gig of memory, ideally 8 gig, but 4 gig so you can dedicate 2 gig at least to the virtual machine and 2 gig to the running of the NAS system. And you'll see a little bit more of that later on when I set up the virtual machine. Next, you're going to need to download the Virtual Machine Manager software from Synology. It's a completely free app in their package center, and this application allows you to host virtual machines in a number of different ways. We're going to focus on one kind today, but there are lots of ways in which to create a virtual machine. You just need to head to the Synology App Center and find Virtual Machine Manager. Right, so first thing we want to do is talk about how first to get your copy of Windows onto the Synology NAS. First, you need to actually get a copy. Now, if you're going to be utilizing a local system that like this one and you want to convert this into a virtual machine, you can use VMware vCenter Converter, completely free tool from VMware, and this allows you to go onto your NAS and convert your local NAS system that you're utilizing, your local machine, into an image which you can then upload onto the NAS and then open in the virtual machine software. That's one way to do it. A little bit of a less resource intensive way, but takes a little bit longer, is utilizing disk to VHD. This allows you to create a virtual hard disk which you can then mount onto the NAS and then upload it onto the NAS, and then let the virtual machine manager run Windows from that virtual hard drive as it would from your virtual hard disk or SSD on a local machine. So with this one, just make sure that you tick the relevant volumes that are on your local system and then export them either to an external hard drive or directly onto the NAS. But bear in mind that of these two applications, disk to VHD will take a heck of a lot longer. We are talking 18-24 hours to create a virtual copy of a physical machine, even at 500 gig like this one. Another way is if you want to start completely afresh. If you don't want to utilize those tools and just want to start with a clean copy of Windows and either buy a new license or use your existing license, head over to the Windows 10 evaluation platform, the software download, where it'll allow you to download a copy of Windows 10. However, as you can see on screen right now, because I'm using a Windows machine, it's not going to let me download Windows. It's only going to let me download update media or a USB stick. Never fear. Ways that you can download Windows 10 from this website include either using a mobile phone or an iOS or Linux-based device, or a little trick. Head up on this page, go to the 3 dots, and then go to More Tools, and then go to Developer Tools. The Developer Tools window will open, and from here, click the three dots. From the three dots, go to More Tools again, and this time, go down to Network Conditions. From here, go down to the User Agent, and then unclick Automatic, click the drop down, and select another kind of device. And what this will do is change how your system is perceived. So say you are on a Chrome OS device. From there, you can then go back to the page. No need to shut down DevTools. Refresh the page, and now it will reread what the system is using. And now it will allow you to download your copy of Windows 10 easily. And then you can download a copy of Windows 10 in ISO form, which you can then move onto the NAS for a fresh copy of Windows. But bear in mind, this is an evaluation copy and will run out after a certain period of time unless you use your own key or buy a new one. So, moving back to the NAS, I've already uploaded a VM image onto this NAS. In order to create a virtual machine and have our copy of Windows 10 on this NAS, we need to go to the Virtual Machine Manager, click the Virtual Machine tab, then click Create. We then have to select which variant of virtual machine we're going to use. Now today we're using the Microsoft Windows option, but in later videos I will be showing you how to use other kinds of VMs such as Android and a Linux Ubuntu VM in future videos. So from now, click Microsoft Windows and then Next. From here, click the storage area on your NAS, and bear in mind Virtual Machine Manager requires you to use an SHR volume so you can access it. You can't use Synology Virtual Machine Manager without an SHR volume. Next, give it a name. So we're going to call this one Windows 10. Then you have to select how many of the CPU cores that the system has are going to be dedicated to this VM. I'm going to go with 2. How many gig of memory? I'm going to use 2 gig. And you can avoid video card options unless you want to create a particularly sophisticated kind of virtual environment. VM VGA should be sufficient, although you can select these other options if the display output of a VM does differ. Then click Next. From here, you then have to dedicate how much of the space on that storage area you selected will be dedicated to the VM, and this will be the amount of storage that that VM has on its internal storage manager. For now, I'm going to give it 200 gigabytes. After that, we say what network interface it's going to have and whether you want it to have its own VM network, and you can create more networks during the setup of the virtual machine. But I'm going to skip that step for now for reasons of simplicity. Click Next, and from here we're going to arrange what the VM is comprised of. The ISO for boot up, what we need to do now is find that virtual image that we either downloaded earlier or created and uploaded to the NAS. For now, I go to Home, I go to Admin, and this is where I've stored a lot of VMs and virtual images for future videos, such as games and more. For now, we go down and we can find our copy of Windows 10 down here. Click it and then click Select. You may also notice when you do this for the first time that Synology will ask if you want to use their guest tool. It's an additional disk that will run parallel to the disk inside your VM that you're using for Windows, and it's filled with drivers and other extras for the smooth running of a VM and easy deployment. I recommend having that image in ISO file 2, and you will be prompted to download this the first time you use a virtual machine setup for Windows. From here you can say whether you want it to auto start, what kind of BIOS you want, but the majority of all of these can be set to default. Although you can set it up that one of the USB ports on your device will be dedicated to the USB ports on the VM, and you can even say whether you want them to run as USB 2 or 3. For now, we can click Next, and from here assign who has permission to access the VM. For now, I'm going to say everyone, but you can tailor that. And there you go. Our VM is now ready to deploy. I'm going to click this option to have the VM power on as soon as it's created, and then we click Apply. Now during this video I am using OBS, the popular screen recording software, but that means we may see a slight dip in performance with regards to the recording, so I apologise if there's any dips during this video from this point onwards. As you can see, the VM is now running in the background, and you're going to see the CPU and memory utilization jump up in just a moment. There we go. We can see those 2 cores that we've given it, and the memory being utilized. So for now, we can click connect to access our VM via the network. And there we go. It is now unpacking the VM. Anyone that's ever done a Windows installation on a PC for the first time will probably see this screen. Right now, by default, the virtual machine is now running like a physical machine and accessing the DVD or Blu-ray or CD virtual drives that have been assigned to it, and it has found the Windows 10 CD and is now booting from the CD. From here, it will then start the Windows installation as you would expect from any Windows installation. Within this window, on the left-hand side, there are lots of options with regards to changing what we're seeing. So, for example, we can lower or heighten the resolution that we're seeing on screen. We can increase how we see stuff on screen, whether we want it full screen or windowed. And there's lots of extra keys such as the ability to click Control, Alt and Delete by default, which may be difficult if you're utilizing a desktop PC, where if you click Control, Alt, Delete on your PC, it will do a local task manager action rather than on the VM. So it's advised to use these options when you need to do these button combinations within the VM, but not on your local machine. There's even options for mouse clicks and more. Now, while this is booting there in the background, this will take a fraction longer, I believe. We can talk about ways to access this VM. You can access a VM via the web browser, as you see here, or there's tools that arrive with your PC, such as Remote Desktop and VNC Remote Access. These are tools that allow you to access a virtual machine on a local client PC. So you can run a PC with very low specifications, and then that PC can then access the VM as if it's localized. That means that the virtual machine that you're accessing, be it from work over the network or via the internet on a commute or coffee shop, as long as you've got a steady internet connection, will be like you're using a local machine. And there you go, we've reached the Windows setup screen. I'm going to end things here very shortly because I'm not going to talk you guys through how to install Windows for the first time. There's plenty of videos out there like that, and the majority of you watching this video have probably set Windows up for the first time. It's incredibly straightforward and easy. And setting up a virtual copy of Windows 10 on a virtual PC is identical to installing it on a physical PC with a physical copy of Windows. But this has been how to install Windows 10 on a Synology NAS as a virtual machine, and I recommend you check out both the NAS Compare article in the description and the links to span.com to get the right NAS for you in the description. If you've enjoyed this video, do let me know, and if you want to learn more, click subscribe as I go through all the different virtual machine environments and how to install them on your Synology NAS in the coming week. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time.